What's up, guys? It's your boy voocsgo, and we've got another ELO Hell video here, this time with Stubborn Ducky, who is a Gold Nova 1, and he says, in this game I end up feeling powerless. I do well, top frag the team, but the game gets to the point where, it's unwinnable. 2 to 3 of the teammates are basically useless, and he wants to know, is it me, Voo? Am I the problem? And kind of, sort of, maybe. That really is what it all comes down to here. Stubborn Ducky does quite well, but there are some issues where he certainly could have won his team the game, but unfortunately he didn't do quite enough. So is he the problem? Well, that's to the eye of the beholder. Let's take a look. Stubborn Ducky going to make his way over to Banana, pistol run. One of the most important things of pistol run is create space for your team. Jump around these corners, just get up in their face. Don't allow them time to set up, reposition, get into good spots. Force on top of them, chase them down to second oranges if that's where they want to go. That's really where this guy that fell back pool should have gone. Make sure it's hard for them to hit you so that your teammates behind you now have a target to shoot at who is distracted by an obvious distraction. If you run out strafing in a straight line like that, right into their crosshairs, it's incredibly easy to kill you. You're not making it easy for your teammates. So heading into round number 4, it's going to be one of the first gun rounds here for Stubborn Ducky and his team, and Stubborn Ducky really showcasing how few frags you can get over the course of 4 rounds. Don't worry, he'll pick it up here in a moment. But he does say that he's making some calls and communicating with his team, and I have to question that on this one. Going 5 banana, all you're doing is asking to take damage. Your opponents are going to nade you, and the more players you have there, Exhibit A is the more damage you're going to take. That nade typically should do about 14 damage, about what it did to Ducky, because there should be players in the cubby, maybe one on the left cubby, maybe a second player banana, but usually if you watch pro teams, they only keep one guy banana for this exact reason. A lot of the time they even give it up entirely and retake it later because it's so impossible to avoid nade damage. But instead of a nade doing 16 damage, his teammates don't even have places to go. They're all trapped because there's only enough room for 2, maybe 3 people here if you're not rushing, and so they're in the middle of the open, just take tons of damage from that nade. The other thing you want to be doing is you want to be kind of leading the blind with your team, especially if you're a higher rank and you know that you're better. You want to be trying to force them to do things. Be one of the first players forward, moving them into the area so that they follow, because your teammates are consistently going to do stuff like this. They are going on an absolute... They're going on a trek. They're going on a... I don't even know what to call this. They went banana, took a bunch of damage, and ran away. Once the damage is done, that's when banana is like okay to be at. I feel like I'm watching the slowest F1 race in the history of man. Lewis Hamilton has already gone onto the A bomb site and planted the bomb, and these guys are still just outside of T-spawn. They've put their car in reverse. I don't even understand. Now, again, this isn't on you, but at the same time, I think if you were a bit more aggressive, they may have been more inclined to follow. And the thing you really need is killer instinct. Look at this. Not you, but your teammate killed 1 sandbags. You've now done a ton of damage to a second player in CT, and he's smoked off. Go into the site. Look, let's have a real talk here for a second. You need to force your team to win rounds, especially when you're the best player on your team. You need to idiot-proof the rounds. And that means that when you have an opening like that, a very likely open bomb site, or maybe 1 extra player, you've got to force it. You've got to do it, because your team, if you let them, is going to go A and die, and you're going to be left with your dick in your hands sitting at top banana. You have to try and force it, and sometimes it's going to go wrong. Sometimes it's not going to work out, okay? But it's going to work out more often than it does, and when it does, you've won the round. Imagine for a moment you traded on that Opera and B site. You've essentially won the round. Of course, it's not completely over, but you've taken the entire bomb site. The rotations from the CTs are completely obliterated. They have no idea what to do, and you can go back and support and try and grab the bomb. But instead, you're going to play it so passive that you almost get taken down by this guy, The Opper almost peeked out into you there and could have grabbed the kill. And you've given so much more opportunity for them to rotate, for them to get into better positions, and for your teammates to throw the round. That's usually what happens. When you take your time, when you're slow, when you're methodical, when you're patient, your teammates don't take their time and they die instantly. And unfortunately, that's why there's the 20-20-60 rule. That's why it exists. However, that doesn't mean that you just play like that all the time. If you know you're better, make round-winning plays instead of playing this typical cookie-cutter kind of slow, methodical CS that isn't going to work consistently. Now, unfortunately for Stubborn Ducky, he's going to get himself into a 1v1 and stop. You have, arguably, you're nearly enough time to go B. And if you ran B immediately, I would respect that. I don't think you have enough time. But if you ran B and were wrong, I respect that. That's a mistake. It happens. You know for next time afterwards. But instead, this is what happens. Of course, you did a really good job. You got some kills that maybe you didn't deserve. Maybe you shouldn't have been able to get them. You got kills that maybe your teammates couldn't have gotten. The bomb was dropped in alt mid. That's not your fault. Your team should not have done that. But you didn't do everything correctly. You could have done more. And that's the point of this. That's the point of this series. Just because you didn't win, just because you were the best player on your team potentially, doesn't mean you were good enough to win, and you could have been. It's not, that's the idea. It's not because your team that you lost. You have to be looking at, I'm the reason we lost because I didn't do everything. And then one day you do everything and you win and you rank up when you start doing that. All right, now when it comes to opping, just in general, opping on T-side Inferno, one of the lowest impact roles in the entire game. There's so many crossfires, there's so many angles that you simply do not want to lead into with the op. The op, when you look at like competitive games with good teams, it's often used primarily to prevent CT re-aggressions or, heavy aggressions. You kind of gamble, maybe you're in the right place at the right time to catch an opper or something and get the kill on them. And it's for after plants. A lot of oppers simply don't op on T-side Inferno, and I highly recommend that if you're playing in a pug, especially if you're playing in a pug with players that you know you need to carry. And I feel like at this point, he's starting to understand he needs to carry them. With the way round 4 went, which is, a couple rounds back now, they obviously need their handheld, okay? They are children in a playground, and you need to push the swing so that they can have fun, okay, and feel like they've accomplished something. So you need to be the guy that goes with the rifle and makes things happen. But if you're gonna op, for the love of God, don't op this. This is not an opening angle. It's not. Your teammates should be mollying that. They should be mulling that to make that a non-existent angle to begin with. The op is so much more effective if you bring it T-stairs. And, of course, you have a teammate that could be going T-stairs, but he's looking 30 feet into the sky, looking for his grandma to open up the blinds and give him some paella or something. I don't know. In banana, you could be shutting down this rush T-stairs with simply better positioning. You don't need anything other than better positioning to get yourself into the position to stop this play from happening. Instead, you're sitting here in ult with nothing you can do. They take the bomb, they smoke it off. If you were playing better players, this would be unwinnable, and it's really kind of unwinnable right now. But luckily for you, your teammate opens up the round. XGen jumping through that smoke is the only thing between you and a round loss here. And, oh boy. That molly... This is like you're walking up to the castle to save the princess, and you find out the dragon, oh my god, he's on the other side of the universe. He's on the other side of the world. He's in China, and we're in Canada. He's on the other side of the world. We just have to grab her. We can save her. It's all safe. And you jump off a cliff. I don't know. What do you do? What? I don't know where this analogy goes. It goes bad places. You really just threw that one away, and then you forced yourself to fight the dragon that you could have just avoided. That was rough, man. That was rough. I'm glad you pulled it out, but that's not supposed to play out like that. So we're not going to look at the entire game, but this is a very important round to look at here. Stubborn Ducky going to be entering up Banana. Again, being a little bit slow, potentially should be going a little bit more quickly. Again, he's kind of blocking his teammates there, but he's going to get the kill, and I cannot stress this more. Go, 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 go. You got a kill. There should only be one more player there. By all means, they've only signaled that there's one more player there. You have to go. I'll give you a reenactment of what it looks like if he was to have continued forward. The sound was broken for this clip, so I made some sound effects of my own. Pew, 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 pew. Oh my god, the site is empty. That was easy. Let's watch the flank. Pew, 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 pew. What shit? The only way you win that round is if you proceed forward, kill the player sandbags, and go into the site. And I understand it's dangerous, it's tough. Maybe, you know, as the player that's trying to carry, you don't want to be that guy that goes in first. But if you go in first and die, but because you go in, the two players behind you go in as well and they trade out, that significantly increases your chance of winning that round as compared to if you survive, but you wait and wait and wait, and then your teammates don't go in or they run out bottom middle and die over there. You're not increasing your odds of winning by doing it like that. You're really putting your team in a very rough spot, and you have to think of it like they don't know any better. I mean, they are lower rank. Lead by example, show them how it's done, and they will follow, you know? Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope this helped, and for the record, this series is meant to be a bit tongue-in-cheek with these kind of like, you know, joking, a little bit overly harsh. That's the point of the series, because it would be freaking boring to have dry analytical content on a series like this. It's for the fun of it, guys. Don't take it too serious.